Welcome to my stock photo of a den. Pull up a seat. Get cozy. I'm starting a series of chats here about some games I've gotten to enjoy but that not many others have tried out. Hidden gems, I'm calling it. I look at some games that have fewer than 200 reviews on BoardGameGeek, some of them newer, some older, most of which the average person has never heard of. These will all be games that I have no personal relationship to, so nothing I've designed, or anything that I personally know the publisher or designer of. Nothing sponsored, just stuff from my own collection. The first game I'm going to cover here is a Japanese card game from a few years ago, called Fellowships of Fate. At its core, Fellowships is a rather psychological game, largely about figuring out what other people are trying to do, blocking them, and avoiding being blocked yourself. There are a few other better-known designs from Japan I know of that belong in this genre, such as Grimoire and Greedy Kingdoms, both of which are favorites of mine. A better-known European example would be Witch's Brew, later published as Broom Service. In all these games, each player is choosing several roles from a larger set, with some varying sort of penalty if you choose the same role as someone else, such as having your action blocked or delayed. In Fellowships of Fate, the timing is absolutely critical, and the psychology continues after the mere selection of the roles. Let me lay out the core gameplay loop and concepts, though this won't be a full rules explanation. Take a look at this fella here, the Archaeologist. He's one of 9 characters you can take in your adventuring party of 4 each round. He's got 2 different powers here. If you decide he's the Nameless Archaeologist, then all he does is get you 2 wisdom resources. Those are one of the currencies, along with mana and strength, that help you go on adventures to get points. If you instead play him as the Legendary Archaeologist, in addition to that wisdom, he'll net you the chance to get a relic. All the characters have a nameless and legendary breakdown, and in most cases, the legendary one is just like the nameless one, but substantially better. Once everyone has chosen their party members, the start player will choose one of them to send out and decide if it's going to be the nameless or legendary. If you choose the weaker nameless ability, then you immediately gain the benefit. Done. Great. But if you choose the stronger legendary ability, then you have to wait. Once it's your turn again, your ability might activate. Everyone else will be playing a character in turn, and if anyone plays one that matches a waiting legendary character, whether that new one is nameless or legendary, then the waiting one is cancelled. The newly played one will follow the same rules. If nameless, get stuff immediately. If legendary, wait around to see if yours gets cancelled or not. There's a great tension and importance to tempo here. Playing legendary characters beyond just getting the stronger effects can also give you the opportunity to delay a bit, since resolving the legendary effect takes up an entire turn. It's very nice to be the last one standing, since you know no one can block your effects anymore. There is some downside though, because if your turn is taking up resolving an effect, then you can't use that turn to cancel someone else's card that's been played in the meantime. A simple decision, with some intriguing but manageable ramifications. And there may even be times where you could cancel someone else's action, but choose not to for whatever reason. For instance, maybe you want to draw out someone else's matching character so that yours can go on safely later, for example. And that's what I really enjoy about the game. That decision-making space is very knowable in one sense. There aren't dozens of possibilities to account for, but just a few. And it's very much based on psychological guesswork. Predicting what scale of greed people are after, and what resources they're aiming for in their set collection, it's just delicious. Talking about the physical object of the game briefly, it does leave some to be desired. Due to being bilingual, having both Japanese and English text on all the cards, they've crammed a lot of information in a small amount of space. Luckily, most of the crammed text is in purely aesthetic or thematic places. These adventure cards have nearly unreadable titles, even for players with perfect vision. You can see the important gameplay bits of information quite well, with the necessary resources and points scored being quite readable at least, but the thematic bits are tougher along with a few card effects. I do applaud the iconography, though, for being consistent, with distinct symbols, and colorblind friendly. And the illustrations on the character cards are fun and bright, befitting an interactive, not quite cutthroat, not that serious card game. The artwork for the adventure cards tends to be pretty muddy and indistinct, unfortunately. The components, nothing unusually outstanding, but do their job just as they should. The punchboard tokens for resources work great, bright and distinctly shaped. The cards are of fine quality, even if the graphic design is cramped and not ideal. The rulebook is a bit hard to follow with an only mostly good translation, but does include plenty of pictures and examples. I bought this game at Gen Con a couple years ago on a whim. I was hoping to pick up a different game from Hobby Japan, but this one caught my eye and I'm glad it did, because it was an instant hit with the people I was exhibiting with back at our rental house, and it's gone over well with my wife and kids and with other family and friends too. If you like highly psychological games, aren't upset by some amount of luck, and can deal with the graphic design issues, then you should consider finding a way to try Fellowships of Fate, Hidden Gem number 1 from my collection. I'm excited for you to join me again sometime. Until then, remember, you can lose a game, but never lose your sense of play. Thanks for visiting.